Hello, and welcome to the 194th episode of Gaming Talk. On this episode, I'm going to be discussing and giving my thoughts on LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. Let's build our way into this. As you know, I'm a pretty big fan of LEGO games, as I've played and owned a lot of them. I don't typically talk about them in this capacity because they're usually all the same, but this one I feel is worth talking about. This is because the previous LEGO Batman game, LEGO Batman 2 DC Superheroes, is a big deal of a game for LEGO games, as it was the one that not only ushered in the open world idea that pretty much every LEGO game after that has used, but it was also the first one to add dialogue to LEGO games. So the question is, does LEGO Batman 3 do enough to carry on the legacy from the previous game? Well, I think the answer to that is definitely no, and that has to do, firstly, with the fact that this game is really only LEGO Batman in name, because to be honest, Batman is kind of barely in the game at all. A more accurate name for this game would have been like LEGO Justice League, as it's more about the Justice League as a whole, whereas LEGO Batman 2 was like Batman and Robin, with occasional help from the Justice League members that culminated in a finale where Batman realizes that he needs the help of the other heroes to stop the big bad. And that's great. But LEGO Batman 3, while obviously Batman is in it as a member of the Justice League, and Robin is as well, but it wasn't about them with the occasional assist from other Justice League members. The story is just specifically more about the Justice League. Heck, it's more about the Lanterns more than it is about the Justice League. The story of the game is kind of weak, but that's kind of how it is in LEGO games, where they come up with an original story using, these licensed characters. In this game, Brainiac's invading and wants to collect Earth as a trophy. And he does this by shrinking it down and putting it in like a glass thing around it. Justice League sets out to collect all the lanterns to use their energy to break Brainiac's hold on Earth, which you eventually do. Makes Superman really big and mind controls him until Batman gives a speech that breaks Superman out of the mind control, and he deals with Brainiac, and that's it. That's why I say it's more about the lanterns, because there's a decent amount of levels where you're playing as various Justice League members and sometimes villains, because they also team up with villains in this. But you spend a lot of time, because you go to each planet of each of the lanterns to either recruit them or take something from them. So, it's not bad. It's not the best story, but I suppose it's not bad. But my biggest problem is with the DLC levels in this game, as they're super lame, and I'm disappointed in myself for looking forward to some of these. I wasn't so as excited, but, just look forward to. You have one called the Squad, aka the Suicide Squad. I don't know why they didn't just call it that. I know it's a kid-friendly game and all that, but you can call it the Suicide Squad. No one's going to care. This was a lame level because you started as Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, El Diablo, and Katana. As you go, you pick up Harley Quinn, King Shark, and Deathstroke. Eventually you get to a part where Amanda Waller comes out of a room and tells you that the enemy is through this room. And then you do a dance, because okay. And you go into the room and you get the end cutscene that tells you Killer Moth was there. But you don't fight him. I was expecting to go in as like a boss fight, but no, it just ends. It's really lame. And there's the Man of Steel one, which I thought would be a level that would summarize the movie in like 3 small parts, but it doesn't. You just play the opening of the movie where Krypton is crumbling, and you have to send Kal-El off and deal with General Zod, and that's it. It's short and it's lame, and they didn't do more with the movie than that. Then there's the Dark Knight Trilogy level, which it's like, it's like the Man of Steel level, where I thought it would be like 3 small levels that would serve as a summary of each movie, but no, it doesn't do that. For a level being called the Dark Knight Trilogy, the level only focuses on the Dark Knight movie, the second one. So I don't really get why it's called the Dark Knight Trilogy when it focused only on the one movie. Plus, again, it was really short and kinda lame. I mean, this game released in 2014. Dark Knight Rises released in 2012. I don't understand why they didn't do more with it. Then there's the Arrow level, based on the CW Arrow TV show, and honestly, this was the one I was looking forward to the most, given that I recently finished watching the Arrowverse shows. This one was entertaining, given that they actually got Green Arrow actor Stephen Amell to do the narration and voice lines, and the lines were pretty funny and made me laugh. But like the other DLC levels, this one was really short and left me feeling like they could have done more. You have Oliver and Slade on Lian Yu, and it's like part of the level is Slade training Oliver, and then the two of them blowing up a camp with missiles laying around, and that was it. Again, bringing Stephen Amell in for the voice lines helps it feel like it's something that could be out of the CW show, but it kind of felt generic. It would have been cool if after that part of the level that they had a second part where they take Deathstroke's attempt to take over Star City from the show and make that a level. That would have been really neat to do, but all we get in the end is just a cutscene where Oliver mentions Diggle and Felicity, and that's it. It's entertaining, but I just wish there could have been more. I think, though, the most boring of all the DLC is the Bizarro one. You run around as the Bizarro League trying to save the people of Rocktropolis from Darkseid. It was just really silly and boring. The final one is the Batman 75th Anniversary DLC level. This is just a big party where Joker and Harley crash the party and put a bunch of Joker stuff all over the party, and then they get arrested, and that's it. I don't have much of an opinion on it, like all the other DLC levels for this game. It's just short, and they could have done more, but they didn't. Very last reason why I think this game doesn't hold up the legacy of the previous one is they kind of do away with the open world aspect. When you play levels, you're just selecting them from the Watchtower computer. In the previous game, and the one after it, you drive or you walk around like Gotham City or Metropolis or both to get from level to level. Here they take that away from you. Sure, the Watchtower computer, you can select Gotham City and go walk around in it and stuff, or you could walk around the Batcave, but that sense of open world that was in Lego Batman 2 is pretty much gone in this one, and it's really a shame. I feel like a cool idea would have been getting to explore all those lantern planets you go to. They don't have to be big, but just big enough that you could have a few side activities and stuff on them, but they didn't even do that. Now look, I have played a lot of Lego games, as I've said, and this one definitely is not the worst I've played. That honor goes to Lego Indiana Jones 2. If anything, Lego Batman 3 just needed more, especially in the DLC levels, but Lego Batman 3 is still a good and enjoyable game. That's going to do it for this episode. So if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.